Frank Ocean may have to come up with $14 million for his father if his father ends up winning this lawsuit that he has filed against his son.
His own son.
His own son.
That man figured out how to finesse the record industry, and people don't talk about that.
A statement has been issued confirming that Frank Ocean's younger brother died in a car accident over the weekend.
That nigga's a loser. He don't count.
He beats up women. He's a bitch.
From Coachella, headliner Frank Ocean is officially pulling out of the festival, citing an injury to his leg.
Do you see Frank at all?
I haven't seen him in a minute. He moved somewhere.
Do you and Frank talk?
I haven't talked to Frank in a brick.
Maybe no one has.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean.
Where is Frank? He's perfectly hiding. He's perfectly hiding, waiting to come back. Yeah.
Lonnie, where are you from?
from New Orleans. I was raised in New Orleans, but I was born in Long Beach, California.
Frank Ocean was born Christopher Edwin Breaux on October 28, 1987 in Long Beach, California, to Calvin Cooksey, a singer and keyboardist, and Katonia Breaux Riley, an entrepreneur. His parents divorced when he was 6 years old, and he was raised by his mother.
He was always very smart, always gifted, reading at 4, like very smart. But he didn't show an interest in music until 14. And it took watching him and his determination and his commitment to what he wanted to create the shift in me.
At age 5, his family moved to New Orleans, Louisiana. He was raised Christian and spent a brief period as a practicing Catholic. Frank Ocean's maternal grandfather, Lionel Magruder Jr., was a father figure to him after his father left the family. Lionel was a recovering drug addict and later served as a mentor at Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous meetings. He would take young Frank Ocean to these meetings, which was the inspiration behind the song Crack Rock from Channel Orange. He also gave him the nickname Lonnie, which Frank Ocean still uses today. He died in 2010, and Frank Ocean dedicated a song to him called There Will Be Tears on his mixtape Nostalgia Ultra. He also mentioned him on his 2017 single Lens. After graduating from John Ehret High School in Marrero, Louisiana in 2005, he enrolled in the University of New Orleans to study English. However, Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans in August 2005, destroying his home and personal recording facility and forcing him to transfer to the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. He stayed there for a brief time before dropping out to focus on his music career.
I remember he went to LA for a week. We were living in New Orleans or something. He worked in the studio. He was only 16. Really?
I met Frank. My brother, Tab, brought Frank to me. They brought him as a writer. Or wanted me to write with him. So here comes my brother and Tab with Frank Ocean. He was a young kid and had just been displaced by Katrina and everything. And so now at the time, he had given me and Tab and Mark all these songs that we love, like 5 or 6, maybe 10 songs that we all were like, this guy's incredible.
And Tricky, I never told this, but Tricky gave me a disc of his music because he was like so excited about him. And he, obviously had, introduced us to each other, and we would just hang all the time, like super cool. Yeah. And I had his CD, and I would ride to the car because it had like all of like his mix. It was like a mixtape type of record. And I would ride to the car and jam out to it. And I'm like, this music is so good. And Tricky told me, don't play it for anybody, and I would play it for everybody. I'd be like, this artist is going to be like the next big thing. Like, he's so dope. Like, yeah. I knew it. Like, I knew it when I heard his records, and I just believed it.
And he came home with this song, and he had it on CD, and I thought it was amazing. And I'm in the car, and I'm letting everybody listen to it. He's like, Mom, don't. That song's not right. I'm like, but the song is amazing. And he's like, it's not ready. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is great. He took the CD and he broke it.
When I asked him to be our artist, and so he looks at me and he goes, okay, I'll be your artist, but there's only one thing. I hate every song I've ever written. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, these songs are amazing.
He was like, it's enough. And it was amazing. He's 16. But he wasn't having any of it. He's like, it's not ready. Don't let anyone listen to it.
I'm just a perfectionist, man. Like, and I'm kind of like bougie when it comes to Sonics and ish, and you know, everything. You know, not just the Sonics, but you know, I take my time. Some songs come quick. Swim Good came quick. I wrote that in like half an hour.
That was, I think, a transformation for him to go from the songs of what he thought other people liked to writing songs for himself. And that's the Frank Ocean that we enjoy to this day. And that was the birth of Frank Ocean, because at that point he was Lonnie Breaux, and we signed him.
Hey, he's so sweet. Okay, Lonnie Breaux Jr., right? Lonnie Breaux's in the house. Lonnie Breaux Jr.
That is hilarious.
Say hi.
What up, what up, what up?
Lonnie Breaux, for those of you guys who don't know, you gotta stay here so they can see you. Okay, so Lonnie Breaux is Tricky's new artist, and he be doing his thing. Right now in the background, I don't know if you can hear it, but he's playing one of his songs from his new mixtape. What's your mixtape called?
It's called Trip Tape.
Trip Tape.
You knew Frank Ocean before he was Frank Ocean. On Ustream with him before he even had the stage name Frank Ocean.
We actually met through Tricky. Tricky was telling me about Frank, and at that time, Lonnie Breaux was like, man, this artist is gonna be amazing.
I bring y'all that fresh stuff every time, baby. So check this out. Here is your boy Lonnie Breaux. Drop that beat, baby.
Play a little bit of Novacane, man.
Novacane, July 4th. The mixtape is in the stores. Y'all heard it right here. Okay, play that. Turn it up.
Novacane and Fancy is as close as I get to art. Yeah, we were in Atlanta, and Dream and I had done a song called Fancy, which was kind of like a never-ending musical, like almost like a musical ball off in a way. Like, I mean, it's so Novacane was my version of doing something like that with Frank. Novacane, he just kept adding. He would come in, he would write something, and then he would write something, and then I would go in the other room and I'd be like, check this out. And then he would write something to that. And then I would go in the other, and then he would write something, and then he'd give it to me and I'd do something else. And then he would go in the room, and we did that for about 10 days. Like, and that's Novacane.
Oh, wow.
Just us going back and forth in two different rooms at my other studio in Atlanta Triangle. He was in Studio B, I was in Studio A. One of my favorite records that I've ever done.
He was so passionate about it. There was such a fire. He used to wash cars to pay for studio time in high school. So yeah, it was when he moved to LA, and while everybody was partying and hanging out, he was working at Allstate during the day and in the studio at night, driving 4 o'clock in the morning, and we're on the phone, and so yeah.
In 2006, Frank Ocean moved to Los Angeles to pursue his music career, working at various fast food and service jobs to support himself. In less than 3 years, he established himself as a songwriter under the name Lonnie Breaux. After getting a songwriting deal, Ocean wrote songs for artists including Justin Bieber, Beyonce, John Legend, and Brandy.
Frank Ocean, he's just a genius. He really is. And the song that he wrote, Scared of Beautiful, it just speaks to the fear of being the best version of you, the best part of yourself.
The thing I saw in Frank Ocean was his ability to tell stories. He's an awesome storyteller, and it was a lyrical perspective that just doesn't come around every day.
I guess I'm just inspired to tell stories, and you got to make sure the listener is listening to you. And so if you put it in the form of a song, oftentimes if the song is striking enough, then you can really deliver the story you know, most effectively while keeping the ear of the listener the whole time. So, you know, I guess it all starts with the stories for me.
So I think that was the, you know, and obviously a very unique tone to go along with it. And then he happens to be the side of it. I think he's like some weird sort of genius marketer too. So, you know, and he understands the presence of absence. But it was hard because people hadn't heard his voice. So translating the magic of his nuances into singers and making sure that the records are coming out, not like that they're emulating him, but that they're not losing any texture of what the magic is in his tones and his timing and all that.
He wrote a song for me on my Evolver album called Quickly, and I didn't even meet him when I had cut the song. I cut the song, me and Brandy sang it together, but at some point, Tricky Stewart brought me in the studio and he said, I want you to write with this guy I've been working with named Breaux, and we wrote with him and we hit it off, just good vibes in the studio. He seemed so, he had like a mystery about him, and I think that's part of what his appeal is to the masses, is that he's just kind of mysterious. You don't know a lot about him as a person.
He adopted the stage name Frank Ocean, getting the name from Frank Sinatra and the 1960 heist film Ocean's 11, which Sinatra starred in. Soon after, he joined Los Angeles-based hip-hop collective Odd Future, whom he had met in 2009.
I remember him, he was talking about a music video thing he wanted to do at that time. We were like hanging out, and he told me though, he was like, you know, one of you gotta be my friends. He's like, my friends, they be turned up. Like they be kind of wow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know about meeting your friends. And his friends were Tyler the Creator and everybody else. So I'm like, what the heck? Like I had no idea when he was describing them, but he was like, they be turned up, blah, blah, blah. But in a cool way. He was super excited about his boys.
Yo, I didn't even think about this shit. But yo bitch finna get a mink about this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm on 5th and Broadway in this bitch. Now I'm in New York with my clip on my wrist. Yeah, it's 12 on my wrist and 20 on my neck, bitch. I'm saying it's really nothing, and I really got the bars, so it's really nothing. Yeah, thanks God ain't this fucking bass. And get this camera on my fucking... What?
There's not wheat bread or bagels at these shows. There's humans.
I actually seen a bagel. It was like
a bagel flew around.
They've liberated my thinking in some ways, creatively, and in a sense of knowing that you can do a lot of it by yourself.
What'd you say? What the fuck did you just say?
I said it.
I was real calm and shit, but I'll fuck you up right now. What did you just say to me? What the fuck you gotta say to me, man?
He thinks he's Moesha when he's home alone.
You think you the brat when you not at home.
You ate out JD.
Oh. You ate out Missy, no challenge.
You fucked all the members from Jagged Edge before the Where the Party At single.
You fucked 98 Degrees while Britney Spears watched, no challenge.
You let finger you.
You let Jimmy Fallon do you.
You let Tavis Smiley suck your gooch.
You let Tyler Perry cash you in his next movie.
You braided AJ from 106 in Park's hair.
You faded Lil Zane's.
I don't think any of us can live without affecting one another, you know? And not to be broad, but it's true. I think I've been affected. My path has been changed and affected by everybody who I've encountered in my life.
Now I'm gonna go watch Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
I know it. I've heard of that, but I don't know what that is.
The Saiyan Saga. That's what I'm gonna watch.
The Sand Saga.
I'm watching the Saiyan Saga right now.
Saiyan Saga?
Nostalgia Ultra. Making that was a labor of love. It was like difficult, you know, to make, not like writing the songs or arranging the songs. I mean, that had a level of difficulty too, but just piecing together all the resources to do it, you know, at the level that I wanted to, like the quality of record I wanted to make, and not really know how to make beats and not really know how to engineer like that, and really only being a singer-songwriter at the end of the day, you know, it was difficult. That had a level of difficulty, but it was a process that I appreciated, you know, so much, you know, and appreciate so much in retrospect.
On February 16, 2011, Ocean self-released the resulting mixtape Nostalgia Ultra online for free. The mixtape received critical acclaim. The mixtape focuses on interpersonal relationships, personal reflection, and social commentary. In April 2011, Ocean stated that his relationship with Def Jam had strengthened since the release of the Nostalgia Ultra.
I'm supposed to be working with, or I shouldn't say that, but you know, it's just MTV, but I'm supposed to be going to New York next week to work with, one of my favorite artists ever. Two of my favorite artists ever. So I won't say who that is. If I do a good job, it'll be in somebody's album credits. If I don't, then I'll never mention it again.
The mixtape made Ocean widely known and led to his collaborations with rappers Jay-Z and Kanye West.
It's pretty rad to hear Beyonce sing a song of yours, or to hear Jigga or Ye like rhyme over and be on a song that you're on. These are, you know, some of the heroes of my generation, you know. So working with them and even being called out, like, you know, to be on those projects, like, it wasn't my doing. It wasn't like I was shopping a song for these projects. It was like they called me to come to the studio, and that's, you know, that's pretty rad.
I was in the car and my husband was playing this music, and this guy's tone and his lyrics just touched me. And after one song, I said, okay, who is that? Because I want them on a flight tonight. And he told me it was Frank Ocean. And I immediately reached out, and he came in the next day, and we did like 5 or 6 songs. And he is just so humble, such a nice person, really, really talented, very fast. He just has so many ideas, and it's great because he's an artist, and I can't wait for everyone to hear him because he's just the truth.
Frank Ocean first appeared in Tyler, the Creator's music video for the single She from Tyler's second studio album Goblin. In June 2011, Ocean revealed that he would work on the upcoming Kanye West and Jay-Z collaborative album Watch the Throne. Frank Ocean co-wrote and featured on 2 tracks, No Church in the Wild and Made in America. On July 28, 2011, a song titled Thinking About You leaked on the internet. It was later revealed the song was a reference track written by Frank Ocean for Rock Nation artist Bridget Kelly's debut studio album.
Well, Frank Ocean, very talented songwriter and artist, went in with Shay Taylor, who produced the track, and they wrote the song for me, and I came in and I fell in love with it as soon as I heard it.
Kelly renamed the song Thinking About Forever. In September 2011, a music video directed by High Five Collective for Frank Ocean's version was released, yet the song still appeared on Kelly's debut EP Every Girl. The tension between Frank Ocean and Chris Brown can be traced back to 2011, when Brown tweeted his support for Ocean, writing, "I've with Frank Ocean reminds me of a young James Fauntleroy or Kevin Costner." While the comment appeared positive on the surface, the comparison reportedly did not sit well with Ocean. Both Fauntleroy and Costner were respected songwriters who had written for major artists, including Rihanna, Brandy, Mary J. Blige, and others. However, at the time, Ocean was trying to establish himself as a solo artist, not just as someone behind the scenes writing songs for other performers. For Frank, the comparison felt like it reduced him to a songwriter rather than recognizing him as an artist with his own voice and vision. The comment became an early sign of tension between the two musicians, which would later escalate into a much more public conflict. In July 2012, paparazzi in France asked Chris Brown about Frank Ocean coming out as bisexual. reports claimed Brown replied, "Man, no homo." Brown later denied making the remark and tweeted messages supporting people's right to love who you wanna love. In January 2013, the situation reached its breaking point when Frank Ocean and Chris Brown became involved in a physical altercation outside a recording studio in West Hollywood. The argument reportedly started over a parking space before turning into a fight.
Take the fade, though. Nigga, I don't know you either, nigga. Just take the fade, bro. Frank Ocean running. That's all you gotta do. Yo, Frank Ocean, what it do? Take the fade, nigga. Take the fade, what it do? For real, nigga, you a mark, bro. If you don't take the fade, you say something else, you a mark on West over, nigga, you a mark. Nigga. Look, all over, you a mark if you don't take the fade, though. All over, nigga, what it do? He on the studio. Hey, come on, nigga, come back. Fuck you acting like that, fuck, come on. You want it, nigga, come on. You want it? Come on. Come on.
Ocean later claimed that Brown and his entourage attacked him, leaving him with a cut finger. Although the incident attracted major media attention, Ocean decided not to press charges, and no criminal case followed. The two artists eventually moved on.
Fuck Chris Brown! Chris Brown! Fuck 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 Chris Brown!
He doesn't count.
Fuck Chris Brown!
That nigga's a loser. He don't count.
He beats up women. He's a bitch.
What happened between Chris Brown and Frank Ocean? Was it really over a parking space, or as much as you could talk about it?
Well, with the Frank Ocean situation, I just put it like this. It's in the past. You know, some stuff went down, but it's whatever. It's not what people, you know, it's always a misconception.
Sensationalized?
It's always sensationalized and always blown out of proportion. You know, I got respect for his music. I got respect for everybody else. So, you know, I ain't really trying to, you know, go back down that route. Everything for me is moving forward.
The Frank Ocean thing, I was there in the studio, that was not his fault. I don't care, that was not his fault.
You were there?
I wasn't in the studio, like where the fight was. I was in the lounge room, and I came out and seen like a little bit of the fight. It was not his fault. And then when I heard the story and I read, and then I played back the camera, they played back the camera for me, it was not his fault. You know what I'm saying? He was reaching out, trying to give Frank Ocean a dap. Frank Ocean didn't want to give him back a dap. And you know what I'm saying? Frank Ocean was talking shit like, oh, because I guess he had some Crip guys with him. He was like, where, whatever, and that's what happened. You know?
But the controversy remains one of the most notable conflicts connected to Frank Ocean's career.
I believe there's heaven. I believe in war. I believe a woman's dream. There's other attitude, baby, don't abort. I believe in marriages between a man and woman, between love and love. And I believe you when you said that you've lost all faith, but you must believe in something.
In July 2012, just days before the release of his debut studio album Channel Orange, Frank Ocean shared a deeply personal letter on Tumblr that changed music history. Instead of making a formal announcement, he wrote about his first love, a man, and reflected on how that relationship shaped him. At a time when very few major male R&B or hip-hop artists were openly discussing same-sex relationships, Frank's honesty was groundbreaking. The letter wasn't framed as a publicity stunt or a headline-grabbing confession. It was a heartfelt message about love, acceptance, and finally telling his truth. The response was overwhelmingly supportive. Fans, fellow artists, and industry figures praised his courage.
You know, whatever that man does in his personal space is that man's choice, and it's that man's business. I am an extremely huge fan of Frank Ocean. His music is impeccable to me. And as far as I'm concerned, I respect the dude completely. I think, you know, whatever he does at home is his business.
I didn't care, to be honest with you. Like, it didn't really do anything for me. Like, I didn't understand why people was making such a big, I mean, it's a shock because nobody knew. But, okay, gay. And Luther Vandross is gay. He did some of the greatest music on the face of the planet. I don't care.
And I think the way that he, you know, the story broke, I think it was probably a bit more tasteful. He didn't put it out there, go, I'm gay on a song or an album. Yeah. He was just like, yo, man, this is who I am. This is what I do. If you're gonna find out, we're living in a day and age where you can't really hide much anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, all you gotta do, like, you'll see someone with a flip cam and he's sitting in there in Starbucks with his boyfriend or whatever. Next thing you know, it becomes a big story. Oh my God, Frank Ocean seen with boyfriend in Starbucks. So it's like, yo, if you're gonna, I might as well tell you, yeah, I am. What, you're gonna disrespect me now?
Yeah.
You're not gonna respect me as a songwriter? You're not gonna respect me as a singer, as a vocalist? So I think maybe the way it came out was a bit more tasteful.
A bit more tasteful.
If you have a problem with Frank Ocean, you should have had a problem with Luther Vandross. You should have had a problem with Kenny Green. You know, like, it's not the first time a male R&B artist, you know, chose alternative lifestyle. It's the first time they said it for the first time a week before the release of the record.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little weird.
While many viewed the moment as a turning point for representation in modern music, rather than overshadowing Channel Orange, the letter added even more emotional depth to an album already filled with themes of love, heartbreak, and vulnerability.
Think of the importance of what he did. So much of people's take on gay is based on their own reference points growing up. Here comes a guy who's so undeniably brilliant, who was sitting in their living room already. They were already listening to it. What it did was it made them go, damn, I like this guy. He doesn't fit the reference points I had in my brain from this judgment I had of what being gay meant. And it changed their fucking perception. That move in popular culture is what fucking started the whole thing.
Fearless. Yeah. Because he is the most, not one of, he is the most principled and authentic people that I know. And he would rather risk everything just to be authentic.
Frank Ocean never allowed labels to define him. Instead, he let his music and his story speak for themselves, proving that authenticity can be one of an artist's greatest strengths.
Like I said, I'm like 9 or 10 songs into it. I've only worked with Malay, his producer Malay, a friend of mine, and Tricky Stewart so far. Me and Tricky have a couple things.
But we didn't end up having like the greatest relationship just because I signed him to a label that wasn't really interested in him being signed, or they weren't really validating it. And then the Channel Orange album, like we would play stuff, he would come by and play me stuff. It was still like a relationship. I would go by the studio, things like that. And then after that, he was kind of on his own. And I took a buyout.
Frank Ocean released his debut studio album Channel Orange to universal acclaim from critics, who later named it the best album of the year in the HMV's Poll of Polls. It also earned Ocean 6 Grammy Award nominations.
Yo, this Grammy goes to Frank Ocean. I want to say thank you to my mother for being the best, and to my managers Kelly and Chris for being the best, to everybody at Our Future Records, and everybody at Island Def Jam, and all of you guys. Thank you.
And was credited by some writers for moving the R&B genre in a different, more challenging direction. Considered as Ocean's first commercial release on a traditional record label, the songs about unrequited love in particular received the most attention, partly because of Ocean's announcement prior to the album's release, when he revealed that his first love was a man. The announcement made global headlines, and some critics compared its cultural impact to when David Bowie revealed that he was bisexual in 1972. Channel Orange debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and sold 131,000 copies in its first week.
He's lyrical, he's got a great perspective, and super sick melodies. I haven't seen anybody bob and weave through chords with such catchy melodies in a long time. That's why I liked working with him.
I want to give the best show possible when I can, you know, and put myself in a position to just do my best. So if that means a lesser volume of appearances, then so be it. You know, I'm in this thing, whatever this is. You know, I hate to call it a game because I take it pretty seriously, but I'm in it for as long as I'm allowed to be. You know, so it's not about let's do a million things right now. It's about let's just do our best to do the best things right now.
Following the success of Channel Orange, Frank Ocean began work on what would become one of the most anticipated albums of the decade. In 2013, he revealed that his next project would once again be a concept album. Drawing inspiration from legendary bands like the Beach Boys and the Beatles, Ocean experimented with new sounds while collaborating with artists and producers including Tyler, The Creator, Pharrell Williams.
Frank Ocean to me is a singer-songwriter, but his album itself is incredible. Yeah, we met at Coachella. We'll tell him, man, I like what you do, let's do something. And then we ended up working. He's super talented. He is, to me, you know, he's like the Black James Taylor. He is, he's just...
Fans expected a quick follow-up, but instead, they entered a years-long wait.
Got a dark-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. Light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson.
Throughout 2014 and 2015, Frank offered only occasional glimpses into the project. He released the collaborative track Hero.
I was a little nervous because we did 4 songs, and actually all of them are crazy. One of them is super electronic, one of them is really like heavy, one of them is just, we just freaked out one night. It was Tuesday, we just did a pop thing.
Shared the haunting demo Memrise on Tumblr, and repeatedly hinted that the album was nearly complete. At one point, he even announced a July 2015 release. The date came and went without explanation. Rumors swirled around an album titled Boys Don't Cry, but Frank remained silent. Every teaser only fueled the mystery, turning the album into one of the most talked about unreleased projects in modern music. Then, in August 2016, everything changed. Without warning, a mysterious live stream appeared online. For days, fans watched Frank Ocean silently build a staircase inside what looked like an empty warehouse, while ambient instrumentals played in the background. Millions tuned in, trying to decode what it all meant. After nearly a week, the live stream finally revealed its purpose. On August 19th, Frank released Endless, a visual album available exclusively on Apple Music. While fans celebrated the long-awaited return, few realized that Endless served another purpose. It fulfilled Frank's contractual obligations to Def Jam Recordings, ending a relationship that had lasted 7 years. Just one day later, Frank made one of the boldest moves of his career.
So, as I was about to go to sleep, I get a notification. Frank Ocean decides to drop an album after an album.
He independently released Blonde. Accompanied by the stunning single Nikes, Blonde arrived with virtually no traditional promotion. There were no television appearances, no major interviews, and no conventional album rollout. Instead, Frank let the music speak for itself. The gamble paid off. Blonde debuted at #1 in multiple countries, received universal critical acclaim, and quickly became one of the defining albums of the 2000s. Critics praised its emotional honesty, experimental production, and deeply personal songwriting, with many calling it a modern masterpiece.
A lot of this album is like reading into the personal diary of someone who you're really curious about. I'm feeling a decent to strong 8 on this thing.
He's making some good music, so I can't give it a bad review. 8.5 out of 10.
Even after its release, Frank continued to do things on his own terms. He declined to submit Blonde for Grammy consideration, criticizing the awards for failing to represent artists like himself. By releasing the album independently after fulfilling his label contract, he reportedly earned nearly all of the profits himself, proving that artistic freedom and commercial success could exist side by side. With Blonde, Frank Ocean didn't just release another album. He redefined what independence could look like for a major artist and cemented his place as one of the most influential musicians of his generation. His strategy was a major financial and artistic victory. By fulfilling his obligations with Endless, Ocean was free to negotiate directly and reportedly secured a lucrative partnership with Apple Music, allowing him to benefit from the success of Blonde without sharing the revenue with a traditional record label. The gamble paid off. Reports estimated that Blonde generated nearly $1 million in profit during its first week, while its independent release model became a blueprint for artists looking to escape restrictive label contracts. Frank Ocean later described his battle with Def Jam as a 7-year chess game, a long fight for ownership, freedom, and control over his own art. With Blonde, he didn't just release an album, he proved that one of music's biggest artists could win by playing the industry's game differently.
That man figured out how to finesse the record industry, and people don't talk about that. That it took that man 2 years to do that shit. And then Blonde, he already got a $20 million check from Apple from that shit, and he didn't have to give any of that shit back to the label because he was already out his deal once he gave them Endless.
They're telling me I have to wrap it up. I don't understand why. I guess you need to go inside, but I look forward to
meet my mom at the table.
Oh, your mother's here?
My mom is here.
Oh, how beautiful. She's already here?
Yeah, she's already here.
She got here before you did?
She got here with me when they took her up the stairs.
Okay,
so
go
she
to your mother. That's important. It's a great thing that you have your mother with you. To recognize your mother, that's beautiful.
There's a song called Be Yourself off of the blog outlet. I know it's not you.
I think people just, because there was a woman giving a child advice and kind of scolding him a little bit, I think people just thought it would be. But it's not me.
After the success of Blonde, Frank Ocean entered one of the most private and difficult periods of his life. While fans expected new music to follow, Frank became increasingly distant from the public eye, with personal struggles shaping the years that followed. In 2017, Ocean faced a legal battle with his father, Calvin Cooksey, who filed a $14.5 million defamation lawsuit against him. The lawsuit came after Frank referenced his father in a Tumblr post following the 2016 Pulse nightclub shooting, where he described a childhood memory involving a transgender woman being denied service at a restaurant. His father denied the story, leading to the legal dispute. In 2017, a judge dismissed the case, ruling in Frank's favor. But the legal battle was only one chapter in a much more difficult period. Over the following years, Ocean experienced painful personal losses, including the death of his younger brother Ryan Breaux in a car accident in 2020. Ryan, who was only 18 years old, was extremely close with Frank and had been one of his biggest supporters. The loss had a profound impact on Ocean, and many fans believe the tragedy contributed to his increased withdrawal from music and public appearances.
Friends and family are grieving the loss of two young men killed in a fiery crash in Thousand Oaks.
I basically grew up with them both. They were just the type of people that'll just light up the room, you know.
This happened early Sunday morning near Westlake Boulevard and Skeleton Canyon Circle. The car slammed into a tree, ripping the vehicle in half, which then burst into flames.
For me, having that setback, everything stopped. The world stopped. But at a certain point, I had to come back into the world, and it was difficult. I remember I was sitting in my therapist's office, and I sat there and literally in my head, in the middle of talking, I said, gosh, she must be sick of listening to this. And I stopped going. I went into a really bad state of depression right before I was hospitalized, and my son found a psychiatrist for me.
Friends identified the two young men as recent graduates of Oak Christian High School. One of them, they say, was Ezekiel Bishop. Now, CSUN has confirmed he was a track and field student athlete.
And I lost my brother, my parents, my grandparents. I lost a friend to suicide. I lost aunts and uncles, and so much loss. All of those losses combined doesn't compare to that one Ryan. Literally do not compare. And I was just feeling like nobody wants to hear you cry anymore. And it gets bad. It gets bad. And so you can't leave people because you think they should be okay. Yeah. You can't. See. You have to continue to check on people.
Last couple years, my life changed so much. And
but I know that Ryan still lives.
You feel it. You feel it.
I feel him. I've got experiences with him. I've heard his voice. I know that Ryan is still with us in spirit.
Despite years of anticipation, Frank's return to the stage came in 2023 when he headlined Coachella.
My brother and I, we came to this festival a lot. And I feel like I was dragged out here half the time because I hated the dust out here. I always felt the respiratory infection and whatever. So I would avoid coming in. I would always end up here. I know he would have been so excited to be here with all of us, and I want to say thank you for the support.
The performance was expected to be a major comeback moment, but instead became controversial. After delays, technical issues, and a shortened set, many fans criticized the performance for not meeting the expectations built during his long absence. Ocean later revealed that an ankle injury had affected his preparation and performance, and the planned live stream of the set was cancelled. Following Coachella, Frank once again stepped away from the spotlight. No new album followed, and he returned to the pattern that has defined much of his career: long periods of silence interrupted by brief moments of activity. In 2021, Ocean launched Homer, his own luxury jewelry company. The brand represented a new chapter in his career, focusing on handcrafted pieces made with materials such as 18-karat gold, diamonds, and custom-designed elements. Around the same period, Ocean also expanded into film. In 2021, it was reported that he had entered a partnership with independent film company A24 to develop a project, adding another creative field to his growing portfolio. In 2026, Frank briefly resurfaced when he was spotted walking through the streets of Japan. A fan-recorded video of the encounter went viral online, once again bringing Ocean back into public attention.
Let me tell you how a random walk around Tokyo turned into a 30 million view video. And I was walking around the city and I so happened to bump into Frank Ocean. It's been a while since anybody's seen Frank Ocean, so when I posted the video, it blew up. I mean, it was everywhere. But it reminded me that sometimes one moment, one video can change everything. Now, I don't want to make my whole trip be about the Frank Ocean video, but if you saw Frank Ocean, would you post a video or would you not post a video? Let me know in the comments. Peace.
Reports from the situation stated that Frank asked for the video to be removed, but the person who recorded it chose not to take it down. The incident sparked another conversation around the relationship between celebrity, privacy, and fan access. Frank's producer Michael Uzawuru later commented on the video, criticizing the decision to continue sharing the footage and suggesting that filming and posting the moment crossed a personal boundary. For Frank Ocean, the years after Blonde have been shaped by grief, privacy, and a desire to create on his own terms. His absence has only increased the mythology surrounding him, with fans continuing to wait for the next chapter whenever he decides he is ready to return. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you enjoyed this documentary, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Thank you for supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next documentary.